All right, let's talk. If you own a salon or spa business, you've got enough to worry about already. Finding the right software to book appointments, organize client data, and build revenue every month is a huge undertaking. And all that time spent researching is time you could spend growing your business in other ways. That's where we come in. Today we're going to take a closer look at what is possibly the most popular salon software on the market right now. But here's the crazy part. You've probably never even seen this software because the company won't let you try it out on your own. That's right, today we're going to take a look at the juggernaut of the salon and spa software industry, Booker. One of the oldest and most well-established companies in the space, but also one of the most secretive. Today we'll take a look at the software and give you a look at why they don't let you try before you buy. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name's Cale Yanez, salon industry veteran and the newest addition here at the salonbusiness.com and YouTube channel, where we show you the best ideas, strategies, and reviews to help you grow your business. So if like the thousands of salon and spa business owners in the salon business community, that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and make sure to ring that tiny little bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. All right, a little bit of background on Booker. They are a pillar of the salon and spa software world and have been around since 2007 when they were founded as Spa Booker, a booking software that was specialized for spas. In 2010, they were spun off and sold to Gramercy One and functioned under that name for a couple years until they came back as Booker. A few years later in 2018, Booker was purchased by another major name in the salon and spa software space, Mindbody. Now they function as Booker by Mindbody and have incorporated a lot of Mindbody's extras into the software to make it a little bit more user-friendly. Now I'm sure you've heard that name before and we will be covering them soon, I promise, so stay tuned for that and make sure you're subscribed. But today, let's get into Booker. Early on, Booker's features set the stage for how salon and spa software should function, and their stable of big-name businesses has given them a pedigree that few other companies can boast. However, the space is rapidly evolving, as well as the expectations of salon and spa owners, and the space is more competitive than it's ever been. In this video, I'll walk you through a detailed tutorial of Booker, break down the pricing and features that it has to offer, and show you some tips and tricks along the way so that you can get the most out of it for your business. In the spirit of full transparency, the salon business is a subsidiary of Mangament, but that in no way affects our opinions or reviews. The salon business is committed to providing neutral and unbiased feedback on salon software so that you can make the right choice for your business. Any opinions expressed here are my own and reflect my experience both in and out of the salon. As it turns out, I actually have quite a bit of experience using Booker in the salon. In the 2010s, I managed a salon that had roughly 20 stylists, as well as an esthetician and a handful of makeup artists. Today we'll take a look at how the experience has changed from then until now. Spoiler alert, not that much. But today you'll see what we're talking about. All right, before we dive in, warning, this is going to be a long video. So I've put timestamps in the description for each of the major topics that we'll be talking about today. That way you can skip around to the questions that you need answered and come back when you can watch the whole thing. But make sure you watch the whole thing if you want to know what the real day-to-day of Booker is like, because I'll be filling you in as we go along. I'll also drop a link to the full in-depth review on the salonbusiness.com so you can find out everything you need to know about Booker before making your decision. We also put together a comparison list of the best salon software on the market right now. So if you want to find out where Booker ranks against the best competitors on the market, make sure you check that out. You might be surprised where they ended up. All right, let's go ahead and dive into Booker now. First, we'll take a look at the pricing and features, and after that, I'll take you step by step through the entire Booker interface so that you can see what it's like using it day to day.
All right, let's take a look at the Booker website now. As you can see here, the branding is distinguished as Booker by Mindbody since the acquisition in 2018. And this is the homepage. So from what we can see here, very simple right off the bat. And that's a recurring theme that you're going to see throughout our review of Booker. The initial call to action is to get a demo, and that is absolutely the purpose of this site. The only way to even get a look at Booker is to get on a demo call with one of their representatives and have them walk you through it. So let's take a look at the page, go a little bit further down here. This is also where you'll be logging in. So when you are a customer, you'll log in from this page. It'll take you to directly a login page, and that'll take you to your Booker booking site. We can also see they've got some of their selling points here, booking and other standard features, but let's go a little bit further down here and take a look at the plans and options. So Booker offers a standard suite of features that you'll see with most salon and spa software these days. You've got the ability to schedule your staff, you've got the ability to book appointments on their calendar, as well as client management features where you can enter in detailed information about all of your clients and search for it in their system. It offers membership and packages, so you can create and sell memberships and packages as well. Now, packages are defined a little more differently than they are in some other salon and spa software. We'll touch on that a little bit later, what a package means in Booker, but it's definitely not the same thing that you might think of where it is a series of the same service that someone comes in for, every month or two and they pay it ahead of time. They have obviously point of sale support with a variety of different card readers and terminals. There's one that they recommend if you're going to be going with their Mindbody payments service. But aside from that, there is a wide variety of options. So, variety is on your side in this case as far as choosing the best cost option for you. There's product inventory tracking as well as purchase order management. You can handle that all through the inventory screening. You can also use the Mindbody consumer app. You can list your business on the Mindbody Explore Marketplace if you are a Booker customer, which is perhaps its best feature because it allows you to list your business on the Mindbody Marketplace and use that as a marketing tool to bring new clients in your door. There's also one-on-one setup and training for the first 12 months that is included with your plan. So you do have, a representative that will help walk you through getting set up and show you what training resources are available to you. There's live customer support, and this actually varies. Depending on which plan you pick, you will have either offshore customer service or you'll have stateside based. So the higher tier plans do offer stateside customer support. If you do go for one of the lower tier plans, you will end up with offshore customer support. Now, that's not to say that offshore customer support isn't good, but it was touted as one of the benefits of going with a higher tier package from the representative that I spoke to. You also have online booking capabilities, which is standard nowadays for any salon software. You've got package and gift card management, like we talked about earlier. You also have reports, quite a wide range of reports available to you, as well as a business dashboard we'll take a look at. There's also the mobile business app, and this is the Booker mobile app. We actually had quite a bit of difficulty getting this to work properly on our end, and based on the reviews that we found online, it looks like we're not alone in that. It's potentially quite a buggy experience, so we'll talk more about that later, but that is a feature that is offered by Booker. There's also data migration support. However, it is partial data migration support. There's not a full white glove service like you might see from some other salon software providers. In this case, data migration support, you can do a partial data export from your previous system, and a Booker representative or an onboarding specialist, I should say, will help you get that data cleaned up and imported into Booker. Not everything can come over with you, though, as you'll see in our full review on thesalonbusiness.com. There's only certain information that you can bring over. One of the major things that you can't bring over is future appointments. So if you do have future appointments booked, which let's face it, you probably do, you will have to manually re-enter those into Booker once you get the system up and running. You also have access on mobile devices. Like I said, there is the mobile app, but that experience is definitely not the best. There's also business education resources that are provided. There's several video courses that are available to you as a customer, as well as a support center that we will take a look at in a little bit, where there's articles on how-tos to particular features of Booker. But let's go ahead and move to pricing now. As you can see here, we've got 4 plans that are listed. They go all the way from $129 up to $549 a month. It's quite a big gap there. And at the high end, it is quite expensive. I will say that when I spoke with our representative, he was very frank that he doesn't recommend the starter or accelerate plan. I mentioned that we were considering the accelerate plan. If we were, as a business, that would be the one that we were considering. And he mentioned that he wouldn't recommend that one. In fact, he said the most popular plans that are available are the Ultimate and Ultimate Plus plans. It was very much so implied that the Ultimate Plus is the way to go if you're going to go with Booker. But as you can see, it is quite a hefty price point and definitely not the right choice for every business because it is quite a heavy investment month on month. At that Ultimate Plus plan, you do get a lot of features included, as you can see here. But what we'll do now is we will break down these plans one at a time. We'll go through each of the features so that you can get a better idea of what they provide and if they're worth it for you. So for the starter plan, starts at $129 a month. You can manage a limited number of staff. So that is 15 active profiles. So that would be 15 employees that you can actively manage on that plan. If you want more, you will have to upgrade to the Accelerate or higher tier plan. You can send up to 3,000 text notifications and reminders. It does offer online booking. That is table stakes. There's individual staff pricing that you can set up for each of your staff. So you can do tier pricing. You can also set up individual service durations for those stylists. There's resource scheduling, which is great. You can schedule appointments to be assigned to a particular room or a particular tool or device that you've got. So if you've got a limited number of perm stations, or if you've got a limited number of rooms for a particular service, you can allocate those with that. There's online store support, so you can integrate your online store and sell products through that as well. And there's client forms, which is good to see included at the base level there. That is something that's super useful for a lot of businesses, especially if they do have an esthetician or they want to do intake forms, that kind of thing. So what you'll notice here is there's a decent suite of baseline features, but there are definitely a lot of things that you'll notice as we go higher up that are not included. So looking at the Accelerate plan now, this one was, marketed to us as the more budget conscious plan. I would say at $269, it's not exactly budget conscious, but it is definitely lower than the $429 or $549 for the ultimate plans. So in addition to everything that you get with the starter plan, you also can now manage unlimited active staff profiles. So no matter how big your staff is, you can manage all of them at once. You can send unlimited two-way text notifications and reminders. So now you've bumped up your two-way texting capability so that you can communicate with clients through your system. They offer smart contact lists, which is an added feature that we didn't get a chance to try in our time with it, but is an added feature. There's an email builder, so it's got its own marketing suite that is built into the software. We'll take a look at that as well. It has customizable templates. So this is similar to something like we saw in our Boulevard review previously, where you can build an email campaign or drip campaign and send those out. There's also support for rewards and loyalty programs, if that's something that you do offer in your salon, as well as advanced staff notification via text message. So that'll essentially be that your staff can be notified when clients check in, that sort of thing. So this is quite a jump up from the starter plan. This is actually about 110% almost price increase over the starter plan. It does remove some of the limits that we saw on that starter plan. And in addition to that, there are quite a few features that are not available on starter that are available here. So you can see this here. Obviously, we're bumping up to the ability to actually use two-way SMS. There's some features as far as like security, internet security for IP restrictions, and you get the email campaign builder and some other features that are included here. But the starter plan, it really is, it's an okay starting point, but from what we learned from our representative, did not come highly recommended from Booker themselves. So let's actually take a look at the ultimate plan now. Starts at $429 a month. This one, again, you still have unlimited staff profiles. You still have the two-way text notifications and reminders. In addition to that, there's added functionality to automate your email and text message marketing and actually prompt clients to post reviews. So you can send out automatic post-appointment emails or text messages that will encourage your clients to leave a review. And if they leave a positive review, it will encourage them to share that review online elsewhere. So from my understanding of it, if they posted a 4-star or higher review, then it will prompt that client to post that review on other review sites. This is a great way to promote your, most devoted or, most satisfied clients, to promote their reviews, get them out on the web, that kind of thing. Something that we're seeing more and more from software suites out there. But from this Accelerate or the Ultimate plan now, we can see that we're getting into a little bit of customer service management or customer review management, which is a whole other tier of features that help with your marketing operations. In addition to that, there's referral incentives that you can provide for your clientele, so that if they do refer somebody, they can get discount or added benefits, essentially. You also have the ability to track your marketing efforts via campaign analytics that are captured via the platform. And Booker's Messenger feature is also included with this plan that allows you to assign a dedicated SMS number to the business and respond to messages from clients via a live chat function directly from the front desk. Now let's take a look at Ultimate Plus. This is their most expensive premium tier plan. It starts at $549 a month. With this plan, you get the complete package as it's marketed from them. So it includes everything you get on the lower tier plans, as well as your own AI assistant or chatbot, essentially, through Booker's upgraded Messenger feature, Messenger AI. So this is an AI-powered chatbot that actually learns from booking patterns and how you communicate with your clients to help answer basic client questions, also help with booking appointments and rescheduling via a chat module that will live on your booking site. You can also use this feature to forward calls to your business or elsewhere. You also have access to real-time business dashboards that offer some improved reporting capabilities on this plan.
All right, before we move on, let's actually take a look at the Mindbody marketplace. I think I touched on this a little bit already, and we will show some more about the Mindbody listing later within the app. But real quick, this will give you some context on what this feature offers. So let's go ahead and scroll down to the bottom here. We can see under the Explore Experiences, we've got different categories listed. We're going to check out beauty. And this will take us to the Mindbody Explorer marketplace. This is where if you do list your business with the Mindbody listing feature within Booker, your business will show up here for potential customers or clients that are looking for services you offer in their area. So you can see here we've got quite a few listed in the area that we are showing up here as Seattle, Washington. But you can see that we've got several businesses listed, some for spa, some for hair, that sort of thing. But essentially, if somebody is looking for, let's just say, hair colorist, they can look here and they'll find a listing for hair colorists in the area, at least nearby them, with approximate distances. So something very similar to what, say, like a Yelp would offer. But in this case, it's specifically for people who have either downloaded the mobile app and are using the Mindbody Explorer app on their phone, or they're using Mindbody Explorer on, on a desktop, that sort of thing. But the real kicker, the real point of this is that people who are looking on this service are, according to Mindbody, according to Booker, highly motivated. They seek it out in the first place, and they're also typically registered members of the app. So there's an inherent trust in the quality of the businesses that are listed, that Mindbody claims is, gives a more motivated potential clientele than, say, you might get on, something like a Yelp or another search service like Google. So in this case, you can see the interface here is very similar to what you might see in one of those apps. You can, look for what they have listed as activities here, and put a distance range as well as a ratings range. Nothing brand new necessarily, but this is the marketplace. It is of no cost to you to list your business here, and is potentially the greatest upside of going with Booker, in my opinion.
Okay, let's talk about credit card processing. Booker is compatible with a wide range of credit card processors, which means you can effectively shop around for the lowest price for a card reader or credit card processing fees, and competition is really, on your side here. So compatible partners include First Data, Bank of America, Payrock, 3C Payments, WorldPay, Sublime Payments, and a few others. You can also accept PayPal online and in store. And there are a variety of card readers and terminals that can be used with Booker to accept payments. Their pretty tight integration with payment processors means that it automatically links payments to inventory. It'll update your system inventory accordingly when items are sold. And the platform offers some industry standard features like multi-merchant accounts. So if you've got a mixture of renters and commission or hourly, it can handle that and route payments appropriately. But Booker also offers Mindbody Payments. So what is Mindbody Payments? Mindbody Payments is Booker's first-party integrated payment processing service provided by Mindbody, their parent company. So this is available in the US and Canada only. This service collects payments through your Booker system and organizes payouts that are deposited into your bank account, similar to offerings from competitors such as Boulevard Payments or MangoMint Pay, which we've covered before. Credit card processing rates are pretty competitive with the industry. I'll make sure that those are up on screen right now so you can take a look at that. Feel free to pause if you want to and look over those. and make a decision. Okay, now that we've taken a look at the Booker website, let's go ahead and take a look at Booker itself. This is the Booker calendar screen. This is the main screen that you'll see most of the time when you're in the software. This is the user interface. As you can see, it's pretty simple. Not a lot going on here. It's a very utilitarian system. You've got just a few tabs here on the top that we'll go through, as well as your calendars and other UI elements you'll see here. Up in the top right corner, you'll see your initials. This will drop down a menu where you can check out your account info. You can also look at your Mindbody payments account and check any stats that are on there, as well as a couple other options. Your settings are over there right below that where the cog is, as well as some notifications. Right here, you can click and check on your notifications. So let's first take a look at each of the tabs and go through what they do. So this is your calendar screen. This is where you're going to be booking appointments and checking out appointments. As you can see here, we've got a few test appointments that are booked, and we'll cover how those are booked and how they're checked out here in a little bit. We'll also take a look at the orders menu right now, since this is actually something that works in tandem with the calendar screen. The orders menu is actually an overlay in version 2 of the software, which is what this version is and the most common one that you'll see. That'll pop out a little appointment blade from the right-hand side where you can check out an appointment or enter a walk-in customer, for instance. As you can see here, you can add services or products directly to the order from this blade. You can also search for the customer name right here in this window. Let's first go ahead and take a look at some of the other options here. We've got the manage waitlist function. This will take you directly to your waitlist. This is where you can add appointments in times that your clients are looking to get in, and occasionally check it to see if there's a new spot that opens up. Standard waitlist functionality. We also have the customer screen here where you can take a look at your customer information. You can search for a customer or add a new customer, which we're actually going to do right now. So let's say we do want to add a new customer to the system. We can click new customer. So as you can see here, there's a ton of information that you can include. Everything from standard required information like first name and last name to whether or not they want to receive emails or text messages. We can also include who they are referred by or where they came from. There's emergency contact information as well as booking alerts. This is my favorite feature that's available here. A lot of software does have this option, but it's always very useful. From here, you can enter text that will be displayed when a client books, when they check in, when they check out, that sort of thing. You can also fill in even address information if you want to, shipping address, that sort of thing, as well as if there's any preferences on like a preferred staff member or staff gender. There's also a really cool functionality here where you can find if there are duplicate clients that have been entered into the system. This might be useful if you bring over a client list and there's a client that got entered twice, that sort of thing. You can search by name and or by phone number or email and actually delete those duplicate clients right here in the system. I've had to use this a few times previously. It can be useful, not to say that you will use it, but it can be really helpful. On the customer fields tab, you can actually choose the kind of information that you want to collect and want to be available to you to fill out on that new customer screen. So for instance, here on page layouts, we can see all of the information that will be displayed essentially on the customer details, the customer sidebar, as well as like a summary, that sort of thing. So there's lots of information that you can customize here. For as simple as the system looks, there is functionality built into it to make it useful or at least customize the type of information that can be included. There's also an option to create custom forms for Web 2 customers. So this is if you create a form that's on your site where clients can or potential clients can request an appointment or send information to you, you can choose which fields you want to be available on it, add those to the selected fields here, and then select a URL where you want this information to be present. And Booker or Booker representative will sort of establish this for you so that it's available on your site and displays properly once it is filled out in the system. We covered the orders tab. Let's take a look at schedules. So from this screen, you can see your current employee schedules. You can also pop in and adjust schedules here. You can also choose whether you want a particular staff member to be locked to a room, or if you want to ignore schedule conflicts so that you can book over appointments that are already there. You can also do that by week, essentially. So if we want to look at a different week, We can change that. If we want to go to our regular schedule, this is our every week schedule, the standard that will be associated for a particular week. This is where you can edit that functionality. You'll see the big warning right here that changing default will override schedules that are already in place. There's a time clock as well here. So this will be where your hourly employees are clocking in and clocking out. There's also a history report you can see there. Now let's take a look at the marketing suite. So this is the marketing suite. This is where we can actually use the built-in email builder to create a campaign and send it out. So here we are in the campaign builder itself. This is the first stage of the campaign builder. This is where we can select a particular template that we want to use and build off of there. So let's just say, for instance, we want to create an announcement email. We can click on that template. This will take us to step 2, where we can drag and drop pieces into the email in the builder and organize the way we want, put our messaging in there and send it out. So from right here, we've got our subject line we've already chosen here. We've got our image block right here, as well as a couple heading block, a text block, and our CTA button here. We can also include some standard, HTML, little have it automatically display our phone number, that sort of thing, and any of our location info, things that are automatically going to get filled in from the details that are on our customer account with Booker. So in this case, maybe we want to move something around. Maybe we want to bring down the image a little bit so we can bring it down below the headline. We can do that. If we want to change the text here to say something big is coming, we can do that. We can also customize our link right here. We can select this and choose what link we want to be here, as well as our display text, and include our socials here at the bottom. There's a ton that we can do. So let's say, for instance, we do want to add a new section right here. We can hit plus, and you'll see all the options that we have here to add in there. It's pretty simple. It's nothing super robust necessarily. It's, you can include text or video or images, all the basic stuff, as well as spacers or offers. But it's pretty Spartan, but it gets the job done. So as you can see, there's a few options available to you here. Everything is pretty simple, pretty basic. It's not going to be, wildly different than any other email builder you've seen, similar to something that you could do in MailChimp or another piece of software. And that actually brings up a great point. So MailChimp was previously a tool that you could integrate with Booker. You no longer can. Now that Booker has its built-in email marketing suite, integrations with third-party software, third-party marketing software are no longer available. So keep that in mind. Your marketing tools will be built in. You won't be able to at least integrate if you use MailChimp or another service. You will not be able to integrate that with Booker. So from here, we can save this as a template if we want to. And we can preview and test it from the next screen here, see what it looks like on a phone, a tablet, a desktop, that kind of thing, and send it to a test email right here. Now let's take a look at Mindbody listing. So this Mindbody listing tab is where you can update your Mindbody listing with your business information that can be used to be shown on the Mindbody Explorer marketplace. So from here, we can see that we've got description of our business, we've got name of our business, that sort of thing. We've got a warning up here that we currently don't have our online booking settings set up. Obviously, this is a demo, so that's not set up at the moment. But if you don't have one set up there, there will be the option to go and turn that on. You can also include a logo and obviously select if you want your business to appear. Which you will need to do there at the bottom. You can see that it's grayed out currently because we don't have online booking currently set up. That will need to be set up. There's also a Facebook and Twitter tab where you could previously connect Booker to your Twitter or Facebook. That is no longer an option, unfortunately. As of recently, there has been a loss of functionality between these platforms to where you can no longer connect these. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is. We haven't gotten an answer back from our rep on that, but you can see here that unfortunately there's some functionality that is broken between those two things. It is said that it's being worked on at the moment, both here and on the Mindbody support website. From the customer emails tab, here you can choose whether you want to customize your email notifications that are being sent out. There's also text message notifications, which are an option that are currently disabled here for us. One important thing to note is that you can edit your email notifications that go out, whether that's for appointment notifications or cancellations, deposits, whatever that may be. You can edit those. You can customize them how you want as far as the text goes within them. But SMS text messages cannot be customized. So those will always be the basic templates that are in the system. They'll come out exactly as they are standard. You also have the ability to create specials here in the system. You can select which dates you want them to be available, to be booked, as well as which dates they're applicable for. You can also choose if there's a redemption limit. And on this, you can also see basically a breakdown of how many have been used, what the adjustment is, and whether that's a dollar amount or percentage amount. And you can also customize them, copy them so that you can make a slightly different version if you have another promotion that's going to be similar, or delete them, obviously. We can also create gift certificate templates here on the gift certificate templates tab. We can choose, for instance, like a particular style that we want, as well as, if we want to be able to sell these online or at a location. You can choose thumbnails for them, that kind of thing. So if you're going to list these on your website, sell them there, you can do that. Or if you want to be able to sell them at your store as well. And you also have the ability to customize colors for your business. So you can choose a booking theme that will display when somebody's booking on your online site, as well as your system theme, which is what we see up here with this blue color. We can either choose a blue or a white color. That's a little more limited. We can customize our logos for our business and the system itself, as well as if we want to include a logo on our receipt or on our gift certificates. Let's go ahead and take a look at the products screen now. On the product screen, there's a pretty robust search functionality built in. We can search by basically any criteria that we can set up for our products. What we'll do now is actually create a new product so that we can see what that looks like. We'll go to new product. And from here, we can create a name, a category, that sort of thing. So let's just say we're going to make the list. And this is going to be skincare. And we'll just say general. We'll choose a brand, add a description. We can also add a thumbnail and a picture so that it shows up in our system with that. That might make it easier to search. You can also search specifically by products that do have a picture or a thumbnail, so that can be helpful. We can list ingredients here, separated by a comma as well, so this will sort of make it so that we can search by ingredient if they're applicable. Booker will automatically fill in a SKU for you. You can customize this and change this if you want. If you have your own SKU system that you're using, by default, it will automatically fill it in with this string of numbers and letters that you can change if you so choose. We can specify by volume type, so maybe it's fluid ounces. We can specify a color, a vendor. We can choose whether or not we want to sell the product online, as well as if it's a professional or an add-on product that we want to sell. We can set up our buy price and our sell price. We can choose if we want there to be a commission percentage or amount based on that. We can also select if we want shipping if it's purchased online to be a flat fee or if we want it to be free. We can also choose the amount we want in stock, the reorder amount that we want to reorder every time we get low. We can choose whether or not to alert when we do get low. The system will provide an alert when we sell down to that particular amount. There's also a reorder number we can set up, as well as a part number, and we can set up alerts if we want to be notified when an item is out of stock. So from the Manage Purchase Orders screen, we can actually search for purchase orders. If we've got a particular one that we need to go back and maybe adjust inventory on, that sort of thing, we can find them from the system. You'll see that none are listed here, obviously, because this is a demo account. But if you do intend on receiving purchase orders and managing inventory that way, it is an option from the purchase orders screen. Now, one of the functionalities I do like about Booker is that there is an option to take inventory. You can actually do this, manually. You can do it with a scanner if you want to. You can input into a spreadsheet and upload that to the system. You do have a few options of how you want to do it, but you can take inventory in Booker. You can also manage vendors and product brands that you have here on the screen. So you can add or remove or rename them from the system here if you do decide to take on a new vendor. Let's take a look at reporting now. So Booker provides the business intelligence dashboard. This is sort of a snapshot of where your customers are coming from, where your clients are coming from, right? So here you can see whether they're internal, whether they're coming through Facebook or Yelp. You can see if they're coming from, if you have a branded mobile app, which you can also create with Booker for an additional fee. You can see if they're coming from customer referrals or Facebook posts or even magazine ads. or the Mindbody marketplace. So this is just a good way to break down where your clients are coming from. You can also see where your marketing spend is best spent and where you're getting your best ROI. This particular view can be very helpful if you decide to set it up. So this is definitely a plus for the software to be able to take a look at that. You can see where your sales are coming from, customers and appointments as well. This will require you to categorize your sales. So you'll need to set up the system so that you can see where these are coming from and so that the system recognizes where those are coming from. On the all report screen, you can see everything from your daily cash register reports to your product sales to refund reports, that sort of thing. You'll get payroll reports or run a tips report, that sort of thing. There's lots of options here as far as these reports go. And when you do go into these reports, you can see quite a bit of information. You can run them based on a particular date range, and it'll essentially list out the information you need and the ability to print it out. With that, let's go ahead and take a look at settings. So on the settings screen, you have a lot of options. You can update your cancellation policy. It'll show to clients. You can choose, how long you want your cancellation window to be, essentially. You can look at client forms. You can look at appointment settings and specify things like whether you want appointments to be able to be booked a certain time out after your salon closes. You can enable alerts for things like no-shows. You can choose whether you want to use staff-dependent pricing and duration like we talked about earlier, and a lot more options here. You can adjust your waitlist settings. You can customize your online booking settings as well. You can add rooms if you want to include a new room that's able to be booked on your calendar. You can add equipment on this screen as well. You can add new employees from the screen, as well as employee groups, and adjust some of the basic payroll information. You can also create a new package from the screen. Now, packages in Booker, like I said, are a little bit different than they are in some other salon software. A package in Booker is actually defined as several appointments that are booked. So let's just say a package in Booker would be like a mani-pedi special, for instance. So you come in, you're bundling two services together. That's considered a package. When you check out, you will pay for both services. So it's not like your traditional, maybe like a 5 blowout special where you pay ahead of time, you get a discounted rate on, several of the same service, and you can redeem them within a window. So it's a little bit different in Booker, but that is their definition of a package, and you can set them up here in the settings menu. Booker does offer a series, however, which is their term for a package. So they do offer that functionality. You can book a series, like we just talked about, that same sort of, 5 blow dries or whatever you want it to be. You can create a series in the system for that. So let's go ahead and create a new membership really quickly here so you can take a look at what that looks like. The first option is whether you want to allow your members to be able to share the membership. In this case, we're going to say no, it's for one person. You can choose whether you want there to be benefits. So, you can say if you want a particular service, per time period, per month, whatever it is. We can choose our price here. We can say that it's monthly or quarterly, bi-monthly, however you want to break it down. We can choose an initiation fee. And we can set like a particular time frame as well. We'll just say it's 32 weeks here. And we can also choose whether we want benefits to expire after the membership ends. So we can say that we never want them to expire, so somebody can continue to redeem them. We can say that we want them to expire immediately on the day that the membership ends. We can choose whether we want there to be a grace period after the membership ends where the client can still redeem. We can also choose an employee commission. So in this case, we'll just say it's and there's a few additional options we can choose if we want the payment plan to be able to be frozen. So if we want someone to be able to freeze it, if they aren't going to be in for a while, or maybe they're going to be out of the country, that kind of thing, we can choose to allow that. We can choose whether we want the plan to accrue those benefits that we could set up if we want while the plan is frozen. We can also choose whether we want to continue to allow clients to redeem earned benefits while the plan is frozen. So while they're not paying, if we still want them to be able to redeem those benefits that they accrued previously on their plan, that sort of thing. So we've gone over all these. Let's go ahead and hit next here. We can choose whether or not we want this to be sold online. In this case, we'll say no. And our new payment plan is set up for our new membership. We can then say done. And our membership now exists within the system. So this membership can now be sold within Booker, and it's got all the criteria set up for it.
All right, let's talk elephant in the room. Booker is one of the oldest and most venerable pieces of software on the market. They have a huge stable of big businesses, and that has influenced countless more businesses to hop on board sight unseen. And I really mean sight unseen. There is no free trial of Booker. There's no paid trial of Booker. There's no trials at all. There's no way for you to click a single button inside the software until you signed a year contract. That's a big commitment, and a lot of businesses are willing to make it because of the other big businesses who have influenced their decision. But the fact is, you still don't get to try it out before you buy, and you still don't really know if it's the best choice for you until you sign up for an entire year contract, oftentimes coming in at over $500 a month. Sure, core features like appointment booking, POS, client data management, they're all there, and that's great, but those are just the table stakes. Booker does offer a few extra features. They've got a built-in marketing suite now where you can build email campaigns. They've even got the Mindbody Explorer Marketplace, which is a fantastic tool for you to be able to generate new business just by being a customer of Booker. But these types of features are becoming more and more common on other pieces of software that often come in at a far lower price point and with better reliability at times.
All right, so now that we've got this set up and now that we've taken a look at a few of the other features, let's actually take a look at creating a service here so that we can see some of the options that are available. So what we want to do here is actually create a service that has processing time so that we can see what it looks like when we book an appointment that maybe could have another appointment booked in the space there where a client is processing. So in this case, this is a waxing studio for our demo here. So let's just say we're booking a service. We're going to go ahead and have it be a waxing service. And we're going to say it's full leg. We're going to create a new name here, and we'll say full leg. And let's just say in this case that there's processing time that needs to happen here. So use your imagination here. In the case that it would be a color appointment, it's a color appointment, same kind of thing. It'll create automatically a SKU and a barcode for it. We can say that it does require processing time here. So let's just say that the start time here is going to be an hour to apply. And then we'll say the processing time is 45 minutes. And we can choose whether to apply this to a staff or room. So in this case, essentially what we're saying here is in this processing time, do we want that time to be booked out on the calendar for that room or for that staff member? So in this case, we don't want it to be booked on that staff member's calendar because that person, we want them to be free to be able to take another service in that time. So we're not going to apply to that staff member, but maybe that person's still going to be in the room. So we're going to go ahead and just apply it to the room. Let's also set a finishing time. We'll say it's 45 minutes for that finishing time. And for that one, because that stylist will need to, or that service provider will need to be conducting a service with that person, we'll go ahead and apply that to the staff and to the room. We can set our price here. Let's just say it's $100. We're not going to show it in the online menu. We don't necessarily need a description. And we don't need to set up a deposit or a prepayment, that sort of thing. But you can set up a deposit or a staff fee or whether or not this service requires equipment. We can also choose if we want to allocate products for this particular service. So if that service requires a product to be used that's in your inventory, you can set that up right here. You can also set up a product cost for the service there. In this case, we're not going to do that. And we can choose which stylist we want to be allocated here. So let's just say we're going to make sure that everyone can use this service. All right, and we're going to make it so that this can be booked in any room as well. Perfect. Now that that's set up, we can go back to our calendar here. And let's go ahead and book that service. All righty. So let's see here. We're going to put our test client there. And this is going to be full leg and face, let's say. So it looks like this actually runs a little bit over. So let's move it up a little bit. Let's start a little bit earlier. Let's say 2:30 and see if that fits. That should fit just right. So we're going to go ahead and book this appointment right here. And as you can see, when we do book it on the calendar here, it'll leave a gap right here, a 45-minute gap, where that stylist can be double booked essentially. So if we can fit a blow dry in there in that 45-minute period, if it's your salon, we can book it right there. It'll show it on the calendar. So that's just a little look at how those work. You can see that we have that here for this service as well. We've got a little bit of a gap book there. Otherwise, if you don't set it up to have a processing time, or if you just want to book straight through, if it's for a particular service that's like a color correction or something like that, that's going to require the whole time, you can set it up so that you don't include processing time, or at least don't show it on the calendar, and you have the entire block booked out there. But let's go ahead and check out an appointment here. Let's check in the guest, and we're going to go ahead and take payment and check out. That will pop out the little blade here on the right-hand side, the order blade, and it'll have the service listed right here. We can choose to add services to it, products as well. If we want to sell a series or any other memberships, gift certificates, or specials, we can add that on right there. In this case, we'll just check it out standard. We're going to proceed to payment. In this case, we're going to pay cash. They're paying the exact amount, and we can complete the order. And the order will be closed. On the calendar right here, you'll see that that appointment now becomes grayed dark gray, and the appointment is now done. I'm not sure why it's displaying this little artifact here on the screen. That shouldn't happen, but it's not perfect software. There are occasionally glitches. We'll definitely be covering that here shortly with the mobile app. But that's essentially how the checkout process goes. If you need to void a refund, you can do that here at the bottom. You can also allocate tips and percentages, that sort of thing, or print a receipt. We can also see that there's different view options. So we can choose to view today. We can also choose whether we want to view by staff or room, or more detailed options like by room per week or by staff per week. But in this case, let's go ahead and take a look at the rooms, because in this case, we can see how resource scheduling essentially works in Booker. It'll show rooms individually rather than the stylist or service provider, so that we can see which rooms are allocated at which times. That's super handy for like a spa or a waxing studio, any business where we have rooms that need to be booked out for a particular service, or tools that need to be booked out for a particular service. All right, and that about wraps up the look at the calendar here. But what we're going to do now is talk about the mobile app. So here we're taking a look at the App Store for the Booker mobile app. Booker is available on iOS and Android, but as we're going to see, the reviews are actually quite different between the two platforms. Okay, so let's take a look at the Apple App Store first. Booker Mobile currently has a 3.7 out of 5-star rating with about 687 reviews in the App Store at the moment. It's not a terrible score. It's not a great score. It is pretty middle of the road. But that sort of reflects a dichotomy between the reviews. There are some people who say they absolutely love it, and there are others who can't stand it and have complaints about how buggy or broken aspects of the app feel. Many reviewers across both platforms do cite the app as glitchy and unintuitive to navigate. That's a common one that I see in reading the reviews. Several reviews list complaints about more complex tasks, such as canceling a single appointment in a series rather than canceling the entire series. That not being an option currently, or at least several of those features that are more complicated being far more difficult on the mobile app than on the desktop version. So that is something to keep in mind. The reviews are definitely mixed, at least on the App Store. But let's take a look at the Google Play Store. As you can see here, reviews on the Google Play Store are much worse. Like much, much, much worse. We're looking at a rating of 1.7 out of 5 stars. This is what I would call a pretty terrible review score. 1.7 is very low. And that's with over 100,000 downloads. The Google Play Store actually has more reviews than the Apple App Store. We're looking at 923 at the time of this video. And what we can see here is there's a heavy skew towards low review scores here, down towards the 1-star and 2-star reviews, far more than 3, 4, or 5 stars. This is because it's widely reported that the Android app is extremely buggy, that people are constantly being booted out of it when they're logged in, when they're attempting to do something. There are reports that the app itself doesn't display changes on the calendar. So where certain appointments show on the calendar on the desktop version, those are not viewable on the mobile app, or they don't show up properly. So stylists can't see when their appointments are booked properly in the app. And some people report not being able to log in with valid credentials at all, which I can confirm is still an issue with the app. Despite being reported over the course of several years, it is currently still an issue that I experienced firsthand. In my entire time during this review, I was unable to log into the Android app once. So that is not a great result. I would say that experience is not acceptable for any salon software suite. The world is increasingly mobile, especially when it comes to being able to book and check out appointments. You need to have access to your calendar. If you can't log in, that is a major problem. So at the time of writing, I would say that it's currently not a great experience on Android. The experience is very mixed on iOS. I'm not personally a fan of the mobile app. I think that, salon owners and stylists deserve better, especially in 2023. And I think the most unfortunate part about this is that this type of experience has been the case for several years, with reports of these bugs not being fixed for years on end at times, despite being reported over and over and over again. In my conversations with friends and community members who use Booker as their salon and spa management system, many of them admit that they've actually chosen to forego the mobile app entirely after several poor experiences with it over the years. Instead, they just rely on the front desk to fill in the gaps. That's a bummer. That's not a great experience. It's sad to hear. For such a big player in the salon and spa software space, in 2023, providing such a poor mobile app experience is just not acceptable. I would very much like to see Booker contribute a considerable dedicated effort to fixing all these bugs in the app and making some meaningful upgrades to the mobile experience as far as functionality and stability goes. Business owners that pay top dollar for Booker's premium price booking and management system, especially if you're paying, $450, $550 a month, they deserve for their days in the salon to be made easier rather than adding more work to their already busy schedule.
Okay, before we get to our conclusions, let's talk story time. As I teased earlier, I was a salon manager of a busy salon here in Southern California for several years in the 2010s. Managed a large team, 20 plus stylists with esthetician and makeup artists on our team. And we were busy. We were super busy. And we chose Booker because it was what seemed like the right choice for us at the time. We switched from Mindbody to Booker. This was pre-acquisition in, I want to say, 2015, 2016. And that was a bit of an arduous process. We had to copy over all of our appointments and do all of that manually, which is still common for a lot of software today, but it was definitely a bit of a challenge. Beyond that, though, using Booker on a day-to-day basis proved itself to be a mixed bag. Sometimes the software went down. Sometimes that was very often. And sometimes there was a fix. But a lot of times there wasn't. We had to call, hope we got in contact with somebody, eventually leave a message, and hope that they got in contact with us. That left us in the lurch in a lot of cases where we had clients to check out or check in, where we could only take cash because the system was entirely down, or where we simply had to take appointments down manually on a piece of paper and put them into the system later when it was back up and running. And this happened more often than I'd like to admit, especially considering what we were paying for the software on a monthly basis. Regardless, we felt like we were stuck with Booker. We had signed on for a contract, and being as busy as we were, it just was too big of a risk for us to try and switch to somebody else at the time. But this was a long time ago. In 2023, the salon and spa software landscape is completely different. There are so many options on the market now to choose from that going with Booker oftentimes just doesn't seem like it makes sense for a lot of salons. Switching is easier than ever, and new and exciting options seem to be popping up every year. You don't have to be stuck with a software you don't like anymore. That is, unless you sign on for a year contract. Is Booker the right choice for you? Overall, Booker's desktop experience is functional, if unremarkable. Let's start with the good stuff, though. Booker's Marketing Suite is one of the few genuinely exciting innovations that's come out of Booker in the last several years. Although it lacks the polish and design of some of the other options on the market, it will allow you to market to your clientele. Likewise, the Mindbody Explorer Marketplace is a fantastic tool for businesses that are new and growing to bolster their new client acquisition and help get clients in through their door at no additional cost to them. However, despite being one of the oldest and most established options on the market, not one feature of Booker's software itself is particularly innovative, well-crafted, well-designed, or unique against a sea of competitors that do often much better at the same things for much less money. As a piece of software so long in the works, I have to admit I was left rather unimpressed by its features and capabilities. And I cannot, in good faith at all, recommend the mobile app to anyone for its horrendous bugs and years-long backlog of glitches that seemingly have been untouched for that entire amount of time. Beyond that, my experience using Booker in the salon as a salon manager tracks with the hundreds of stories I've heard from community members and the hundreds more reviews I've read on review sites regarding Booker. It's overall not regarded as the best experience, and for a premium priced piece of software, it really should be. To that end, the software still looks, feels, and works just like it did in 2016. That is to say, tragically, it was clunky and outdated then, and it still feels that way to this very day. Years of neglect and a lack of consistent innovation make Booker a hard recommendation for salons and spas in 2023. But that's not to say it's not the right choice for any business. If the marketing opportunities provided by the Mindbody Explorer Marketplace and the help that an AI assistant could give you in booking appointments or fielding questions from potential clientele, then Booker might just be a good option for you. All right, I hope that this review of Booker was helpful for you in your quest to find the best salon or spa software for your business. Let us know down in the comments if you have more questions, and if you want to read the full in-depth review, make sure to check it out in the description below, where you can learn everything you need to know about the business. Don't forget to check out the entire selection of salon software, all of the best options on the market. We've got that link down below too. You're gonna wanna see it. You're gonna wanna find out where Booker ranked, and you're gonna wanna find out who's number one. So click that link, check it out, make sure you're subscribed. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have an amazing day. You deserve it since you make so many people's day every day. We'll see you in the next video.